Hello again, and today I'm going to show you how to upload an avatar and make different changes to you might want. Now first, there's going to be a few things I'm first going to do is this down here, so I can see everything that's in the project folders and in here. There's going to be a few things I'm going to also open up. Is first, build size viewer, so I can see how it is. I'm going to add it down here. To upload, you just click this button and it will tell you the readout on how big it is. It is a bit off because he hasn't updated in a long time. But it gives you approximate, like real close. So we go to Thrive, Avatar, VRM calculator. I can know where everything is. I'll show you how that works right now. I throw this in here and it calculates all this stuff out. Okay, you see the texture memory. 400. You see that there's also the mesh memory, and all by the end of it. This is not the actual fully build size, considering that it does not count in any compression of different textures and meshes. Now, if you want to see different textures on here, you can go right here. It shows you every single texture and the size. This is very useful when you want to upload, so you know what is taking up the most room and how you can make it a smaller size for people to download when you're in game. It's the same thing for meshes. Now this shows you all the body takes up the most when uploading avatars, usually followed by the hair. It's actually followed by the ears on this avatar because the ears are very high res compared to most other ears. Now let's get into how to go from start to finish on how to upload a new avatar if you want to edit. Now you could obviously edit that one that was right there and do different stuff to it, but the usual way I do it is I go find the FBX or the different mesh. Now as you see, it is not looking very good. That's because we gotta change it around. Oh, it has an animator already in it. Let's put this at the center. And let's start. And one of the first things I like to do is create a new folder. We're going to name this Matt's PC, the materials. And another folder that is the textures. Because I like to hold all the different stuff in there so I could easily find them instead of all in one folder. That's what I would suggest. Now, as you see, there's no hair for this, which is very easy. Let's just do this. There we go. Now we have the hair. Now, when you're adding other stuff from other places, you will have to first unpack completely. You have easy access to everything. The first thing you want to do when you're adding new things is just do this. Go over here. Next is the armature, which is the bones. Now it will label it. Head is where this goes. You just go in here. I like to move this up here so it's easier to get to. Again with the neck and the head. You just drop this in here. You could also use a program to merge these two together. I don't use it. I'd rather just do this all manually. It's just how I am. Now it's actually looking pretty good. The ears and the tail are the same thing, and a few other things that this avatar might have. Now, first of all, when creating a avatar, I'm going to have to create a material. So I'm going to. Now, first creating. Now I can delete this. Now for adding stuff to avatar, as you see, there's like some gray textures and then some other textures. It's because these have either a single colored mesh on it. So you see the hair has actual texture. But we want to mess around with this and change the texture. So I'm going to create a new material. I'm just going to name this A, so it's I can duplicate it. Now the first thing I like to do is for the quest side, I like to set up the shader from here. Let's go down here. I use standard light. There's a bunch of different other shaders that I will tell you about in a few seconds. It has a different stuff. I turn off this and this. and on this, and now whenever I duplicate it and mess with it on the PC side and then create a duplicate for the Quest side, it will save these. I just want to go to create a PC shader. There's different ones. I don't really know what these mean. I usually just go with Poiyomi tune. There's the older versions that you can also grab. Just click this, and it will take a little bit for the shader to load up everything. There we go. We have the latest version of Poiyomi loaded up for the shader. Now, of course, there's stuff I usually like to have. I like to check the shading to realistic. So it actually has shading. If you want just a bright, flat texture, you can set this to set it to flat. It will just be very bright. There won't be much like shading from the bright side to the light side that it has it right here. Now there's a few other things I like to do is going into special effects, go in here, set this to full, set this to 1. Again, when I duplicate it, it will just have that all those things in there. Now we first want to add the material to the new thing. First of all, it's going to start off with robot arm plates. Sometimes these are not named, and you can just click on it and show you where that is. So I will create a duplicate as such. Go back here, you just drag and drop in here. As you can see, it goes a little bit wider because these other ones that are on here that are a little bit gray are just default textures. Well, default materials from Unity. Next, we would want to grab the texture for it. And you could always find these somewhere on the avatar, but for this one, it is here. Let me close this off so I can search for it easier. You could obviously just use search function. If I actually know how to spell right, here are some of the textures. Now, they are named something very odd usually, but you'd usually want to find the one that says base. See base color. Another one you want to grab is emissions, which does not seem to have emissions for this. No, wait. Yeah, no, it doesn't. I just like to look at the texture. It's gonna it's gonna open up Paint on that. This is a program I use. It's just some roughness. Here we go. This looks a little more like emissions, but it's not fully emissions. I will fix that a little bit, but I duplicate these two. I would highly suggest duplicating, not just moving and altering the textures, because if you alter them and you don't know how to switch them back, you could it's very bad. So it's just duplicating them. Now I'm going to drop them in here. Instead of going with this robot arm, I'm going to copy the name, put it in here, name it as appropriately, and then this one's going to be the emission map. There we go. Now we come over here, take the beast texture, well, open up that, and drag and drop in here. As you see it will change to what it's supposed to look. The texture is the main thing. Next is the normal map, which is a fake 3D effect on different parts. I know that this is all 3D, that's actual 3D, but this is so there's less polygons. I don't use normal maps. I don't like them. They take up a lot of space on an avatar, so I'm going to leave that thing. The alpha map is the things that are invisible. We won't be messing with these two for now. Just leave that alone. Next, I want to add the emissions on here. Now there's two different things. Oh, it takes a little bit to load. As you see, it's just bright white based off the settings. If you want to keep it like that, you can. I would adjust it, but you're going to want to put the texture in the map. The map shows where the texture, all the emissions will be put on that certain texture. Black means there will be no there, and white means there will be a lot there. You can also color these different colors. It will have the color, but I only like to leave one solid color. Now the mask is a extra set of textures that you can put in there. You may search out a noise map is usually what I would use. As you see, it puts the actual texture wherever the map is. Without having to create your own. I'm just going to delete that. Just click on it and click delete. Now there's tiling, which I will show you what happens. It's basically how many times it will tile over the whole thing. Since this is all mapped to a certain part, it will not show right. But if I bring back that noise map, pick a different one this time. Now if I took the tiling and did 10 by 10, it makes it a lot smaller and duplicates it over and over again. Again, I'm not going to use that right now. Next is the emission strength on how bright it is. I would usually just leave that at 1 or a little bit brighter, depending on if the texture is a little bit darker. It's up to the user. Here is the color, so you could choose the solid color that it is. You have all the options. Let me just put it back to white. There's a couple other things, color adjust. I will get into these on a different date. Now the texture is on the tiles and not the lighting. I would prefer not to do that, so I just go in here. And I would like to just convert colors, so the white is on the white and the black is on the black. Usually the texture out here between the panel would usually be black. It's not, it is on this one, if we really wanted to. So it's not too bright. Just copy that over. It's easier to mess around with. Now this is usually how a mission map would look. Now once you close this out and save, and as you can see now it has changed. It will, every time you change that, it will show something up, so it will update, so I can look at it. Now next is, for all the textures, I would suggest compressing them. So you could have a smaller upload size, and it would be download faster. You could leave this completely undone on a PC avatar. There is not really a max. I haven't found, I think it might be like around 100, but I haven't seen it yet. Now to compress the avatar, all you have to do with the texture is all you have to do is use crunch compression, move this over, and click apply. Another thing you could change is the compression, and this helps to take down the size again. It doesn't really make any visual changes, I haven't noticed. It might slightly do, and people who are very particular might want to change that. I'm just going to leave this to low quality so it's even a smaller size. Now next is this. Now when you're selecting the max size, I would suggest moving the camera from a distance that people stand away from it, or you will be looking at it, and changing it from here. As if I do like this, change that, you might not see a difference, maybe a slight difference. No. Now you could do it from here, but you will see the individual things, but who's ever going to get this close to your arm? So I wouldn't just go from there, I was just going from back here. Now 512 is usually good for, these two are usually good for Quest. 2048 is good for PC. You could also do this for PC, but that makes the texture high quality, and if there's too many of these on one avatar, it can lag people, usually with not good PCs. So for PC, I'm just going to leave it to that. Click apply. Now there's two other buttons right here, a PC and the Android. Now these will allow you to change what the texture size and all these settings are on PC and Android. Now I'm going to use this for the Android side and this for the PC side, because there's a lot more settings over here. You can do this at 420. Now for this, you could either use RGB compression, but I wouldn't suggest it. I would go with BXT5. The reason being is that the other one that was down there, when you have see-through things on an avatar, and it's supposed to be see-through, it will not when you compress it. This is a lot better for that. Okay, now that is all the things for the textures. Now for every different thing, you will have to do that for the for every different texture and material. I'm going to set this to a different color so it's not just black and white. Let's go with red. Or not. What just happened? Okay, I don't know what just happened, but let's set that to red. Now it's not a deep color red. Let's do that. Let's just change this. Put it down. Let's go with this. Okay, now there's a bunch of different colors down here. You will not see this, but when you create a color, all you have to do is click this, and every time you close this out and open it up, you can click that color. Click one of the ones I have set. That one's 75. I need to organize these. They're horribly organized. 50, 100. That seems good. I could go with 150. No, let's go with 100. Okay, now next you'll have to do this for every different texture and everything, and I will do that real quick. Okay, now the glow doesn't really have a texture to it. You could find it, but I would not suggest it. If it's just a glowing effect, which will affect some parts of it, just putting a noise map in there. Now the noise maps, if you don't see these are by Poiyomi. There's a bunch of them. I will use this one down here. If you want to know where it is, you get to click on it and do that. Let's just duplicate it and put it in our texture so we can always change it. And for just glowing things, I would just use the noise map. It looks a lot better, and the texture size goes down if you're using the same thing over and over again. In AM mask, what it is. Okay, let's take this and go down here. Remember, the mask is okay, let's make it 10 by 10. So it is a little bit more repeating. Let's do this. Let's throw it up in there. Oh, I didn't update yet because I didn't click on that. Where the after go? There we go. If you scroll up and down on the scroll wheel, it will change the position forward and back. I just like to move around my thing. You can see them, but not very much because of the color. If you're going to do just a glow effect like this, I would just set it black so you can have more color control. And you see it's running all on this arm. We continue and I will stop when there's different stuff to talk about. Next is the metal. When you want to make it a reflective. Now, if it's glass and reflective, I would just clear coat. That's a lot better for glass. But for this, you could use a few different things. There's matte cap, which is a certain texture for the actual reflections in cube map. There's difference between them. They're minute for me. If you want to learn more about them, you could probably look them up. I might do a video on them after I learn a lot more, but I was just using reflection and specular. Now there's a few settings. Let's first make this a darker color. Let's turn this to jet black. You can see it's a reflective, but now the metallic is, it usually just changes the darkness for me. I don't know why, but I would never suggest putting this full because you will barely get any reflection. It's on the very edge. But I usually like to put it 75 and set that to 1. Changing this down to 75 and that down to 5 to have less reflection, but this will go. Reflection visibility. Okay, smoothness is just how reflective it is and how glossy it looks. There's a reflection visibility. If you turn that down, it'll show less visibility of it. And specular is the light reflection that you see on the very edge right here. Don't know what this other one is here. Like I said, I will do another video if you want to. You could have a backup for the reflections, then a cube map. That's why I use this to have a lot more. And I will continue now. Okay, now there's a few things you will need to know, and that is, on most avatars, 9 out of 10, the blush, you will try to find it and you cannot. The reason being is that the blush is actually in the face textures. Open this up. Blush is probably like right down here, but usually it will be in the same thing as the face. Now you could always just create a new one and change it, make it more see-through or something. But for the way I do stuff, I'm just going to create a new thing. Call this Invis. Now, for an invisible thing on an avatar, if you don't want it to be there just by hiding it by the shader, because sometimes you can't just hide it. Because if I turn off this right here, it'll turn off everything. And what I like to do is going in the VRChat, mobile, particles, and then multiply. Now, as you can see, this texture has nothing in it. It is completely invisible. Now, if I turn on the blush wherever it is, as you see, it's these white marks. And if I add this in here, where is it? In the blush. There we go. And it's vanished. It does no longer exist. You keep it if you want. I don't like it. If you want to use a blush and you see how it's like a cube and it has black on the side, you can always just create a new thing and then set this to either cutout or transparent. Cutout is usually it will just cut out anything that is see-through on a texture. And transparency will just make the whole thing transparent. It will use the alphaness of a texture to also remove parts like cutout, but we're going to just leave it alone for now. Okay, there we go. I have added everything and added a noise map to everything except the hair because it looks a little weird on the hair if I add it. And made sure that everything looks good. I also grabbed these carbon texture from a different project I have, so at least it gives a little bit extra things. So there might be some things different from what you do to what I do, and I made sure that everything is red and uniform. That's how I like it. You do whatever you want. Again, this is going to be your avatar, so do with what you will. There are some stipulations with some avatars, but usually they will let you do whatever you want after the fact, just not upload it publicly usually. So now that I got that all, I want this to look like when I first turned into it. First of all, I want the hood up to be gone. I just want it to be down. The pasties are clipping a little bit through, so let's remove those. Hopefully it doesn't show anything. Nope. Okay, that's about it. That's how I want it to look when I first change into it. You don't have to do this. I just do this because it looks a lot better in Unity. Now next is actually having this to where you could upload it. Right now, if I go in the SDK, there is nothing. It just says Add Avatar Descriptor, and that's what we're going to do. Because when something's breaking, you can just go in here and add that. Now let's do VRC Avatar Descriptor, which is not touching up because I spelled it wrong. There we go, Avatar Descriptor. Now, there's a few things in here. First thing is the viewpoint. This is where your camera will sit when you are in the actual avatar, where your vision is. So usually what you would like to do is just grab it and move it down here. If you don't mess with Unity, you can use this to grab this way to grab this way, and then these little boxes to grab it in both those directions, as it shows in yellow. After you do that, just return, and I'll just sit there. Next is the lip sync. This is the mouth. Now, before you do click it, the auto detect, make sure that wherever the face mesh is, and all of these blend shapes are, these VRC, like V_AA, all the way down to TH, make sure that this is right under the armature at this point. So when you click auto detect, you'll grab the first mesh and then set all these. If you do not do this right, you will either have to remove that and redo it, you cannot control Z this. Next is eye look. This is where your eye is looking. Now sometimes this does with blend shapes and stuff, but for this, most of the avatars it's with just the actual eye. When you go down here and in head, you will find left eye and right eye. Most of the time they are named that, but sometimes they are not. Now that's done. Now the next things you will have to fiddle with is to look up. Usually it's on the x-axis, negative or positive. It visualizes it so you can see. Next is look down, look left. That is looking right. I know it's on this side, and that's supposed to be left, but you're looking from this direction. The avatar's point of view. I'm going to do a little bit more to make it left, so it's at least a little bit more better. And there we go. Next is the eyelids on the blinking. They're bones. I have not seen any where the actual eyelids are bones, so usually that's not messed with, but the blend shapes is usually the thing. Now you will have to grab the blend shape, the mesh that has that. Here you go. The blink, you will set it as usually just a full-on blink, which is right here. You can see it blinks. Now, there is not on this avatar, but I've seen it on some more of the newer ones, is the look up and look down. If it doesn't have it, all you have to do is click none. And it will, usually that will just make the eyes go up a little bit and do a little bit of extra things. You don't have to have it, it is just on some avatars. Now next is play of layers. This is for all the toggles. So when doing this, you gotta make sure that you do it right. Now for the Gogo Loco part, you go down here, Gogo Loco, find runtime, Gogo, and main, no, controllers. I usually go with non-write defaults. I don't know what the main difference is, but from what I can read, it doesn't save what you've done to the avatar. I don't know if that's just a Uni thing or it's a VRChat thing, but I just want to go with this one because I don't want to have it. You know what? Here we go. We'll take base and put it in base, additive. If you want to see it easier, you can scroll down or up with holding control. We will skip over FX for a second. Now the FX, there is usually one right here, but I added that other thing that was called menus for my thing, which is up here. I just duplicated this and then added a little bit of changes to the way I like to do things. So you'll drag that and bring that in here. Now with the FX, you would also want to do it on this, so you could easily see what's going on with the animations. The FX holds all the toggle animations. These other ones hold all the Gogo Loco stuff. Now there is a Gogo Loco FX that has all the fly and different stuff to it. It's the Beyond, I think it's called. And to use all that fly stuff, we'll get into it another time. Next is lower body. This is for IK tracking. Usually you don't have to mess with these. It's customized. Now in the Gogo Loco thing, there is the main menu, and since I'm using the Beyond with the FX, you drag the Beyond into here, and the parameters into here. Instead, I have, again, this thing I uploaded earlier, put this in here, this in here. Now that it is all set up, it is all done. The last thing to do is to go to the SDK. As you can see, it's what it's named earlier. When I try to upload it, this usually saves. Okay, oh yeah, let's switch to the Windows side so we can upload it. Okay, now that I've switched over to the PC side, and that is doing that, it has an error. These usually will just have an autofix button, sometimes they don't. just highly depends. Let's click autofix. These are some mid-map textures without stream maps. You usually have to have a lot of different stuff for avatars to be uploaded to VRchat. Most of the stuff is already set. This is right defaults and not right defaults. It usually doesn't cause an issue. That's what these two are, and everything else looks good. There's no errors. There's not a shit ton of other stuff here. Let's just click build and publish. Okay, it's almost done. There is a copyright. Make sure to read this. It's just saying that you have the ownership to upload this to Unity, to VRchat. Now it's almost done. Usually the first takes a long time for the Quest and PC side, but after that it usually uploads pretty quickly. Like every upload, every time you add something, like maybe like half a minute. The first one took around 10 minutes for me, probably because I'm also using OBS. There we go. Now you see, last updated, the time that it is right now. Supported platforms, the window. Now it only says the supported platforms window. Sometimes it will say Quest if you upload on the Quest side. But for now, Quest players can't see this. Now that it's uploaded, I'm going to open up VRchat and I will see you when I get there. Okay, now we're on VRchat. Don't worry about the avatar. This is a different version of the same avatar. But now we can go on avatars and this little tab will pop up, uploaded. And we can see it usually at the top of the list. I already have this here because a lot of avatars are uploaded. We change into it. You can see it looks exactly like we uploaded as, maybe a little bit different shading. This is the world. And as you see, I had that video with the Google logo already added there. All the different stuff. Now this doesn't have any toggles or anything because we haven't done anything with it. Just if you upload an avatar, you could actually have all the toggles with it. Just upload the base, and you can alter from there. But again, I like to start from scratch and go from there. Now let's also look at the avatar size. Now this is 22. Usually, I would like to try to get that down below 20 for PC side, and you have to have it below 10 for the Quest side. I'm guessing I left a couple of textures 4K, which is not good. Next to do is the Quest side. I'll do that in the next video. Until next time.